Yesterday, we learned that the Michigan Department of Education would be releasing our AYP results. And as a matter of fact, that is happening even as we speak. The timing, it couldn't be more perfect because we have some of the most outstanding leaders here in our presence today. Dr. Taylor and I, before I bring Dr. Taylor forward to share with you, I'd like to begin by saying we are so very proud of what you have done, what we have done, and what we have accomplished. Think about all of the hard work, the many extra hours, the many phone calls, the many different interventions that you have put in place over the past year. You know, and I know that some people had written us off. They said it couldn't be done. You probably were encouraged to give up on those poor kids, but you didn't. We did it. You did it, and more importantly, the students did it. Make no mistake, based upon what we heard today from our assessment department, we have a lot of work to do because we want 100% of our students to be college ready, and that's attainable. But let's not lose sight of the fact. You have done what rarely, if ever, happens in any urban district, and that needs to be recognized. I want to just encourage you to not get weary in well-doing. Keep up the good work, and congratulations to all of you. Now, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning. Everyone looks so good, and as Mrs. Evans said, this is a cause for tremendous celebration. And again, I think the timing couldn't be more perfect because this is really the first time that we've been able to share this news with all of those who are responsible for where we are. On Monday, for those of you who were here, I preface my remarks by saying that from where we were in 2006 to where we are now, we are in a very, very different place. And in large part, it's as Mrs. Evans said, it's due to consistent focus on our most important asset, and that is our students and our belief in their ability to be successful. So it is with that fact in mind that I stand here to present to you good news, great news. Not surprising news for me, but good news. So if our technology is working well, which it is, I'd like to share with you that, again, for the 5th consecutive year, we have increased the number of schools meeting adequate yearly progress. We've added 5 new schools to the list. Now, we have nearly doubled the number of schools meeting AYP from 2006. In 2006, we had 26 meeting AYP, and now we have 49 meeting AYP. So we're just 6 schools from. Since 2006, you see we've quadrupled the number of schools earning a B grade or better on the Ed Yes report. We're up from 7 to 28, and that's something to celebrate as well. Now, the 5 new schools that met AYP are Alger, Ford, Harrison, Westwood, and Union High School. And I especially want to recognize Union because, it was a glitch that they didn't make it last year, so they didn't throw in the towel and say, oh, the heck with it. They came back fighting even more purposefully, so go Union. Now this is one that people said couldn't be done. And that's all 4 of our comprehensive high schools have met AYP, and Central, Preston, and Ottawa have met AYP for the 2nd year in a row, and they're set to drop off the state's watch list. So that is very significant. All 6 comprehensive middle schools met AYP. All 6. And our district as a whole has met AYP for the 3rd consecutive year. Now, what this means is that AYP has been met across the board in every subgroup of students within many of our schools. And you know that our schools encompass just about every subgroup that can be thought of. I think the only group that we don't have are Eskimos or so again, it's our special ed students, our English language learner students, our students on free and reduced lunch. The student populations that everyone says, oh, you can't do this, or it's too difficult, or it's impossible. Well, again, those groups are moving forward, and moving forward in a very purposeful way. We know that a lot of this has been borne out because of persistence, and those things that we've persisted about have not always made people happy, and some quarters may have been controversial. But again, it shows that we are on the right track, that the things that we have set forward to do, to reform how we can better serve our students, are having the desired impact. Because this is sustained growth. This is not a one-shot deal. It's sustained growth, and it's multiple years of growth. So again, it shows that we are on the right track, and that we have no choice but to maintain our strategic direction. We have been assisted in this process mightily by all facets of the Grand Rapids community. From the Student Advancement Foundation, and I'm so happy that Susan Hartwell is here with us this morning, because we cannot, never, ever say thank you enough to those affiliated with the Student Advancement Foundation, because they don't just put their money where their mouth is, they put their hearts where their mouth is. So, Susan, please extend to the board our sincerest thanks for your stalwart support. Tony Campbell's here from the United Way representing Schools of Hope. And again, our schools are schools of hope. Our schools are also schools of learning. And it's the hope that's invested in our students that have made it that way. So Tony, please take back our sincerest thanks to everyone at the United Way and the Schools of Hope program, and all those Schools of Hope volunteers who work tirelessly year after year after year with our students, because you can go back to them and say that their tenacity, their persistence, and their care and concern for our students has reaped huge dividends, and again, their investment is paying off. So you go back and take that message and let them know how happy you are to share that. Edwin Hernandez is here, and Edwin is here representing the DeVos Family Foundation. And from day one, when any request was made, now Edwin asks a ton of questions. Edwin is going to make sure everything is thoroughly done. Edwin is going to make sure you have an evaluation piece attached to whatever it is that you propose. But Edwin and the focus of the DeVos Family Foundation, and certainly this is true of Jenny Vanderhart and her leadership, is that this is about our community and making our community better and investing in our children, because children make a community better. And it's because of that that I want to say thank you to you, Edwin, and if you would extend that courtesy to Jenny as well, because you two have been, again, stalwart supporters and partners. And no one could ask for more, no one has received more, but no one could be more grateful than me for that. So thank you very much. From the Grand Rapids Community Foundation to the Steelcase Foundation, the Fry Foundation, the Believe to Become Initiative, the Amway Corporation, and so many, many, many more. So many individuals, so many organizations, so many philanthropic endeavors that come to your building simply by virtue of the fact of the work that you do. Again, I know that all of you expressed in your own way how grateful you are to those individuals, those corporations, and those philanthropic endeavors. But again, it's because of their belief in your work and their support for your work that, again, we stand here today with a cause for celebration. Again, I know that we have a lot of work left to do. We have a lot of work left to do. But we can now say that we are able to do this work. Not we think we can do it. Not we hope we can do it. But we actually can do it. I talked to you and I've said again, this is about collective will. This is about our desire as educators, as citizens of Grand Rapids, as those who care about children and their future. This is about our desire collectively to work in a purposeful way so that all children can be successful. That's what you've done. Now you've set a very high bar for yourselves now. You have set a very high bar of performance for yourselves. And that bar is going to continue to inch up. So I have to ask each and every one of you in this room to double your resolve to do better, to bring along the recalcitrant, to bring along those who aren't sure, to bring along those who are scared, but to also bring along those who say, bring the fight on because I'm up for the challenge. So when you see someone struggling, you have to take them by the hand and you have to say, here, I'm going to help you. This is how we can get this done together. And it's because of that, it's because of that spirit that we are standing here with this great news that's just been announced. We have to extend our sincerest thanks to our students and their families. I think this is an excellent way for us to go out in the coming weeks when we're canvassing neighborhoods, when we have our back-to-school parties in the park. This is an excellent way for us to say thank you for all that you've done to make our work quality work. Certainly we have to say hats off, and this is what I want to, if you are an elementary school teacher, please stand. If you teach at the elementary school level, please stand. No, don't sit down, don't sit down, don't sit down. No, don't sit down, don't sit down. Now, the folks at the elementary level, you started all of this. You started all of this. And you've gotten better and better and better. So again, to our elementary school staffs, thank you, thank you, thank you. You work unbelievably hard to set these children on the right direction. So elementary school teachers, you should pat yourselves on the back. You know how you tell the kids pat yourselves on the back and all those encouraging things that you do? You should definitely do that. To our middle school teachers, please stand, middle school teachers, because I know that teaching middle school is hard work. You know, it is so funny watching you all be shy. This is really funny to me. But middle school, I taught 6th grade. I had a great time, but I know it's hard. I know it's the most schizophrenic grade span that you want to work with, but it is a lot of fun. I've seen so many of you work so purposefully with students, and I want to commend you too for again, hanging in there and working so diligently to improve the condition. Certainly to our high school teachers. Now, you know, stand up high school folks, because, you know, everybody says, everyone says that you're the most difficult group to bring along. And while that may be true, at least once it sets in, you're coming along and doing great things. So congratulations to all of you. I'd like to especially recognize our former principals, those who retired. I know that Jackie Bell is here, so if you are a recently retired principal who's come back to savoring your success, please stand so we can say, I see you, Jackie Bell, back in the back. And certainly to all of our principals. So principals, assistant principals, coaches, curriculum specialists, those who support teachers and students in the classroom. And please stand so you can be recognized too, because you have a hard job. I know we have counselors, youth advocates, clerical, custodial. If you do anything for this district and I didn't recognize you, stand up, because I don't want you to feel left out. Because again, everybody's role is so vital, so important, so critical to our success. I do have to recognize also the team of people who, there are some individuals, our assessment department, led by Ms. Veronica Lake. Please, assessment department, please stand up. Walter, Tam, Veronica. Now let me say this, if I forgot somebody, now let me say this. This team of people is our CSI team. They know how to find every possible way that we should be able to say is a cause for why a school or a student's score should be looked at differently, so that that can work favorably towards our AYP results. And it's because of that kind of tenacity, but it's also because of knowing what questions to ask that we are sitting here today celebrating all this. So these individuals really deserve a tremendous round of applause for what they do. Certainly, my team, they're all in the back now. I notice how you all like to move in the back. Again, I don't even know what to say other than I am so proud to work with each and every one of you. It just, I don't even know what to say, other than thank you. But there's one person who I have to publicly acknowledge for what she does, because she does it in such a classy way. But she is smart, she is hardworking, she is compassionate beyond words, and she gets the job done. And she is never one to shy away from a fight, but at the end of it is going to just say, this is what we need to do to make a difference for children, and that's what I'm going to be about. And I couldn't be better served, better assisted, better supported, better cared for, better cared about than by our Deputy Superintendent, Mrs. Carolyn Evans. Mrs. Evans, this is your work. This is your work. So celebrate your work. So, we have a lot to celebrate. We're even going to have a decent lunch. Now, Monday, you had a lunch that I never knew we could serve you, and I hope we don't get in trouble for it. But I just can't tell you how extraordinarily happy I am for everyone in this room. I've only been on this journey for 5 years. I know some of you, this is your life's work. And this has happened to me before. I mean, every school I've worked in, there were situations where people said, oh, you can't turn around achievement here, you can't get better. And to watch teachers and students and parents see, yes, we can. And that it sunk in and got deeper long after I left the scene is really what this is about. So it's wonderful for me to experience this again because it's a great, great feeling. Not because of what we've done. That's important, but we are making the lives and the difference of these children and their families in this community. And I think that's why we're all here. So let's enjoy this. Let's savor this for a little while, especially when our children come back. I mean, Mr. Rodney Lewis at Ottawa Hills High School, I see you standing there. And you know, every school's done well, but Ottawa, everybody always wants to say something bad about Ottawa. And we need to have a red carpet and a marching band. And because Ottawa Hills High School made the most gains of any high school in the district last year. And City High School, you know, you've been good for a long time, and we don't want to ignore City because City is the second-ranked high school in our state. So, Mr. Hovenkamp and Mr. Gonzalez, I know you're kind of used to this, so you're like, oh, well, you know, we get it. But again, you're great and you're getting better, and I don't want to minimize that on any level either because that's hard work too. So again, hats off to City and the fine work that's done there. So I'm going to now ask Mrs. Lanier to come and bring words of congratulations from the board. And again, I also want to say that in large part, why we have been able to move so mightily in the right direction is because of the support of the Grand Rapids Board of Public Education. The Board of Education does a fine job of supporting the work that we need to do for our students. And I feel we are very fortunate to have Mrs. Sunita Lanier as our board chair, and I'd like to ask her to come and offer remarks.
Well, I used to be a cheerleader, and I feel like I want to do a cheer. It's like a pep assembly. But I won't. I won't embarrass anybody today. I just want to reiterate my thanks that Dr. Taylor and Mrs. Evans, they've already given, but I just want to single out a few groups. Can you guys hear me? I feel low. Let me turn this up. This would happen to me. Well, I'll just start by, I'll use my cheerleading voice then. I'll start by thanking the students of this district for believing in themselves and for stepping up to the challenge. Their parents for trusting their children with us. That's a huge accomplishment. So when the public was saying GRPS can't do this or GRPS cannot do that, parents said, I know my child can learn. And they believed in this district and they stood by us, so we owe them thanks. To the faculty for rolling up their sleeves and working extremely hard to achieve such great goals. GRPS is a school district that serves all students, we turn no one away. Dr. Taylor talked a little bit about our subgroups, and the reason why our subgroups are so diverse is because neighboring districts who are unable to meet the goals of their students send them to GRPS. Let's not forget that. So you're doing the work that they are unable to do. So thank you for serving all students at all times and still getting these types of results. To Dr. Taylor, I'd like to thank you for this audacious goal and for putting this before this entire school district and your faculty. They've been able to achieve it, so I summoned you to raise the bar. It's time for us to get beyond where we are right now. As I mentioned on Monday, our competition is not our neighboring school district. Our competition is across the globe. And can I pass this to someone? Our competition is across the globe, so now we need to raise the bar so that we can meet those challenges as well. I just want to add to the list of community partners. There are a few that I thought of, and some of the community members are here with us today that I'd just like to add thank you to. And that's Cornerstone University for sponsoring lunch today, so we would like to thank them. Gwen and Rick is here from KSSN, and we'd like to thank them as well for their partnership. Blue Cross and Blue Shield is also a great partner with the district, so we'd like to acknowledge them as well. Now, I've spoken long enough. You know what these results mean to me, but I want to hear from some of you. So I'm going to put a few people on the spot, and I want you to stand and share with me what these results mean to you. Wendy Dean is a special ed teacher at Central. Where's Wendy? Wendy, tell us a little bit about what these results mean to you.
Well, we're extremely proud at Central High School. We've been AYP for the second year in a row. And I guess it means that we can work together as a community with our community business partners like Spectrum, and we can work together with the parents and students and faculty to achieve success. And so even though we have improvement to make, I know that if we continue to work together, that we'll be successful.
Thank you. Pam Orjack, she's the former principal of Westwood, and she's headed to Riverside this school year. Pam, can you tell us what this means to you?
Well, I'm very proud and honored. Grand Rapids has been 26 years for me, so, I'm one of those lifers, Dr. Taylor. And so, it just shows that we can work together with our students and our parents. Our teachers are wonderful. They don't get the credit that they deserve, and through effort, our students work very hard, our kids through the effort, and IFL, it is wonderful. And we've made great gains. We have a long way to go. We're not where we need to be, but we are making gains for our kids and our community. So it's a proud day.
Thank you. Maya Frazier, she's a counselor at Creston High. Maya, can you tell us what this means to you?
Again, just to add, this is a very proud day for us. This is just my second year in GRPS, so this is the second year that we've made AYP at Creston. Still more gains need to be made, but it not only shows the community that our students are ready for college, but just like Dr. Taylor said, that once they get there, we want to make sure that they will graduate. So this is a huge success for us.
Thank you. Aaron Bailey is a youth advocate at Creston. Aaron?
I like to say this is my third year being a youth advocate and I just witness our team at Creston as a whole, our principals, our deans, our staff, our other advocates that we had there. basically just come together as a team and make this work. I'm very proud to say with Ms. Frazier, we had 3 Millennium Gate Scholars at Preston High School this year, and she has made it work. I've seen the efforts with our deans, Mr. Wilbaum, Mr. Gill, with our advocates, Mr. Porter, Ms. Davis, along with myself, just make things work, to make it happen. Dr. Taylor said the bar has been set, you just got to keep rising.
Thank you. And then the last person I'll call on is the principal of Ottawa Hills High School, Mr. Rodney Lewis. What does this mean to you, Mr. Lewis? Preach the sermon, Mr. Lewis.
I'm glad you saved me for last. This is a very proud moment for our school community. I think all the stakeholders within our school are extremely excited to be able to drop off the watch list and make AYP for 2 consecutive years. It's pretty phenomenal. When you look at put together the vision, have the vision, the plan, and the execution of it all, to see the outcome that we've seen and demonstrated has been very, very great. But Dr. Taylor said it best at graduation when he said, Ottawa Hills is like a Timex watch. You know, we keep on ticking, and without question, that's what we live by. I said we're the fastest growing, or fastest moving organization in GRPS, and I think a lot of my colleagues here would say the same. But we're extremely proud, I think, through the efforts and hard work of all the kids that we have in our school. We've been able to see some greatness come through out of this process. So thank you.
Thank you. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge any of my colleagues who are here. I see Ms. Slade is here, but if there's anyone else, if you guys can just please stand. Thank you to the Board of Education. This closes out my comments, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Helmholtz, or are we concluded? Am I concluding? This is the end of our press conference. Thank you for all who joined us. Mrs. Evans has her finger up, so I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Evans.
I'm looking across the room for Shanae Edmund Burley, who is our speaker of the hour. We thought pardon me? I'm sorry. Okay. It is now 10:40. So we will at this time return to our sessions, and at 11:30 lunch will be served, and we have a full hour for lunch again. Enjoy the rest of your day.